Welcome to Your Case, Your Justice, Personal Injury with Empathy with Lowell Steiger.
Hello and welcome to Your Case, Your Justice, Personal Injury with Empathy with Lowell Steiger. Lowell is a dedicated Southern California attorney who has been fighting for injured clients since 1998. With a genuine passion for advocacy, he works tirelessly to secure justice and compensation for those in need. My name is Kevin Rosenquist, and today's episode is Auto Wrecks, Immediate Steps and Legal Guidance. Lowell, welcome back.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm excited to chat with you again. It certainly seems like in the chaos following an auto wreck, people often don't know what their next steps should be, and understandably so. Can you walk us through the crucial actions a person should take to protect themselves legally?
Sure. I mean, right. It can protect themselves legally and also just medically. I mean, the first thing you want to do is prioritize your safety and the safety of everybody else. Call 911, call for an ambulance, make sure everybody's okay, make sure you're okay. And that would be the very first thing. Another thing you want to do, if you're able, is gather evidence, like take photos, see if you can get somebody to tell you what they saw, to have them, video them. If you have a dash cam, make sure you save the dash cam. That would be pretty much it as far as that goes.
How important is it for an accident victim to seek medical attention, even if they don't feel injured right away? Because I feel like a lot of times, like we've talked about it before, your adrenaline's pumping, you're just maybe don't realize you're hurt. Do you recommend people go to seek medical attention no matter what?
I always tell my clients, I always start off there, how are you? If they call me, right away. And then I say, you need to, no matter what, you need to get medical attention. But if you're not going right now, at any time, say even the next 24, 48 hours, if you start feeling anything, call your doctor, go to urgent care, go to the ER. Don't think that it's just that you slept funny, because right after an accident, everything, your mind is racing, your adrenaline is pumping, like you just said, Kevin, and you don't know that you're hurt. You may not know that you're hurt. And then a few days later, you go, oh my, what's going on here? Why do I have a headache? Why is my neck hurt? Why is my arm numb? Why is my foot numb? Things like that. You really need to get immediate care.
Yeah. And what is there a too late kind of thing for it? I mean, like, can it make things difficult down the road if people don't get that medical treatment right away?
Well, insurance companies, always try to find a way to minimize your claim. And they'll say, well, she said she was okay at the scene of the accident. Well, most people think they're okay at the scene of the accident. It's a few days later. But they use that and they say, oh, there's a gap in treatment. So you really want to go get it documented. I always tell my clients, make sure that you tell the doctor or the nurse or the historian what happened, that it's all documented, that you were in an accident at the time, give or take, and things like that, so that it can be related back should it be necessary. So your injuries can be related back to the accident.
Yeah, so they can make sure they connect those two things. Yeah.
One of the things I will also tell my clients is, and it's going to sound kind of funny, but to take like a little boat ride from your head all the way down to your toes inside your body. And is there anything that you feel is different? Just kind of an imaginary ride. And is there anything, whatever it is, if it's cognitive, like if if you're blurry, or if your memory is kind of funky, things like that, or if your shoulder hurts, your neck hurts, your arm hurts, your stomach, if you're nauseous. Because sometimes nausea can be a sign of a concussion. From my understanding, I'm not a doctor, but that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard that nausea could be a real good sign of a concussion. Actually, sometimes it's obvious who's at fault. Sometimes it's not. What should someone do if they're not quite sure who's at fault, or maybe if they're disputing if there's a dispute over the liability?
Liability is one of those things that the people involved in the accident, unless it is so clear cut what happened, they can't really evaluate it. You need a lawyer to do that for you. And that should be from the very beginning. I mean, I advise that whether it's me or somebody else that you go to, I still advise that I would advise that someone should go to a lawyer, because there are certain things, that are very subtle that a person may not realize could put the other person completely at fault or could put you completely at fault. Main thing is, don't talk about fault. Don't admit fault at the scene of the accident. Don't tell the police, oh, I think it was my fault. You may be completely wrong. There are all kinds of things that go into the dynamic of a liability decision.
That's a good point too, because I think it's again, go back to the idea that your mind is racing and all this stuff, and you might think, oh, well, I feel like I might have screwed that up there. I might have been the cause of this, but still just shut up.
Right.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
Just in case.
Just in case. And the other thing is, depending on where you are, there may be video footage or videos around that, recorded it, building, commercial buildings or whatever. Even a Ring camera might have caught it, in somebody's house. If you have a dash cam, that may have caught it. Or the other person's dash cam or your black box. There's all kinds of stuff that will bring evidence into the case. And if the injuries are bad enough, at some point, again, an accident reconstructionist, can kind of determine whose fault it was and how the accident happened. So it's not really up to the person who was in the accident to definitively define who was at fault or conclude who was at fault.
You mentioned before about how the insurance companies are always going to try to find a way not to pay out or not to pay out as much as maybe they should. One of those things is they'll try to make quick settlements. Can you kind of talk about why it's crucial not to accept a settlement offer too soon after an auto accident from an insurance company?
Oh yeah, because first of all, as soon as you accept the offer, sign a release, then that's it. Your case is over. And then, what the insurance companies will do is they'll come to you, like an hour after the accident or 2 hours or a day or something, and they'll offer you $2,500 or $1,000 or $5,000 and an apology. And meanwhile, you don't even realize that you've got a herniated disc in your lower back that, was caused by the accident, or a torn rotator cuff in your shoulder, which people don't know that they have it until they go to use their shoulder. And so a month later go, oh, I can't raise my arm up. And then it turns out that was as a result of the accident. You've already accepted a settlement and you're done. You have no recourse. So you don't want to accept a settlement early. Insurance companies will lowball you and making it sound like they're doing you a favor, but they're really not. They're just protecting their own bottom line.
When you get that call from the insurance company, do you advise clients just to be like, sorry, I'm going to retain counsel. We'll talk another time. Should they give them some information? How should they handle that phone call?
If it's from the other driver's insurance, you have absolutely zero obligation to give them any information legally. And the best thing to do, if you're going to get an attorney, or if you're thinking about getting an attorney, is say, I'm getting an attorney. If you have an attorney, because sometimes they will beat you to the punch, but you sign up with an attorney and the insurance company doesn't know it yet, so they call. Well, at least in California, the insurance code prevents them from contacting someone who is represented. They're not allowed to do it. It's a violation of the insurance code. So if you say, I have an attorney, they will all but hang up on you. What is it in the Dracula movies? They go like that or whatever it is.
That's the sign of the cross.
We're the sign of the cross. They get scared. They don't.
You're the garlic.
Yes, we're the garlic.
So really, just don't say anything. I mean, that's really if you plan on getting an attorney.
Yes, and again, I know it sounds self-serving to say you should get an attorney. You should get an attorney, whether it's me or somebody else. You just need to be protected because the insurance companies will walk all over somebody who is not represented.
Yeah. Can you talk about some other tactics that insurance companies use to minimize payouts and how accident victims can protect themselves?
Sure. One of the things that they like to do is, as far as the medical treatment goes, they like to say that you had, first of all, that you weren't injured by the accident. That's number one. Then number two, if you were injured by the accident, it wasn't that bad. And number three, if it was that bad, you took too much treatment, had too much treatment, and the bills are unreasonable. They will look at anything they can to minimize your injuries and the treatment that you had. The other thing they will do is they'll try and say that it's partially your fault or it's all your fault. And I mean, I've had a zillion cases where they come to me and say, hey, our insured was not at fault when their insured was. So that's another one that they do. Another thing that they do is they will look on your social media. And if it looks like you've been having a good time since the accident, you couldn't have been injured. So don't go on the social media and talk about your accident, and don't go on social media if you attended some event and you want everyone to see the great event you attended. Just kind of lay low when it comes to social media after an accident, really, because they will twist whatever it is. You could have just gone to Disneyland with your family and you just went there. And even if they might have wheeled you around in a wheelchair, but hey, how bad could it be? You're having a good time.
That would be hard for a lot of people to resist the temptation of posting on social media.
Right. It's hard, but people do resist. Unless it's their livelihood, then of course they can't.
Yeah, that's different, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah.
different problem altogether. People believe that insurance companies are on their side. We'd like to think that we see the commercials, we talk to the agents, like we want to believe they're on our side, but that's not always the case, is it?
Yeah, it's like never the case.
Okay, never the case. Got it.
In fact, sometimes like when I'll get a call from an adjuster from Nationwide, and he'll go, this is John Doe from Nationwide. I go, oh, you're on my side, yes. It's Allstate, or State Farm. I'll say, oh, look, my good neighbor is calling me.
Yeah.
They're wonderful slogans. They're great advertisements. But basically, insurance companies are businesses, and they want to protect their bottom line. They want to make as much money as possible. And so they're not going to call you up and go, oh, I feel so bad this happened to you. We're going to open up our pocketbook and just write you a check for $1 gazillion. It just doesn't work that way. They are there to protect themselves and their stockholders. I mean, from their perspective, you can't blame them, but the tactics they use, delay, deny, and defend. I mean, that's what they do. They delay the settlement, wear you out, and say, okay, my clients will say, I just want this over already. I'll say, just hang on a little bit longer. So they delay, they deny, like we talked about already. And then of course they'll defend, and they will get attorneys to defend the case, which is fair. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do, but we're supposed to fight against that. And we do.
Once you're involved, do they try to pull tactics with you as well, or are they kind of like, okay, they have an attorney, now we got to play it straight?
No, of course they'll try, but I've been doing this a long time, so I've pretty much heard it all. I know when they're blowing smoke, and I know when there's some adjusters that are real straight up. They're not being my friend or my client's friend, but they understand that it's going to get to point B no matter what. Mm-hmm. So they just sort of cut to the chase. But there are others that they will do whatever they can and say whatever they can to try and minimize my client's case when they talk to me. But I don't buy into it because I already, have my facts as well.
Some people will try to, avoid an attorney and just do it on their own, handle it on their own. I mean, I got to believe that insurance companies are just licking their chops when someone does that, right?
Yeah, because they know that you don't know how the game is, that someone who's not represented doesn't know really how the game is played. Yeah, so sure, the insurance company is happy about that. Once in a while, there are some people that have the sophistication or the experience to be able to handle it on their own, but it's pretty rare. Like if I got into an accident, I would not handle my own accident because you become too emotional. You're too invested in it. So you need somebody who can be not neutral, but somebody who can be a little more objective that will fight for you.
How much time does someone have to make a decision on if they want to hire an attorney or not? Is there, because they're going to get a call from the insurance company. They're like, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. How much time do they have to make that decision?
Well, I mean, until the case is over. I mean, if they haven't settled the case, they can get an attorney. For me, I'm hesitant to take a case that somebody has tried to handle on their own for very long because there are going to be too many things that they may have really messed up that I will not. I'm not a magician. I can't go in there and unravel or undo what has been done. If they've already given a statement to the adverse driver's insurance company and they've said things in the statement that are going to hurt them, that are really bad, that can really hurt them, I'm just not interested. So, and it's not that I don't care about what happens to people, but I've been down that road too many times before, and it becomes a disaster. So people should really, from a practical perspective, get an attorney right off the bat. And attorneys that practice personal injury, at least here in California, we work on a contingency fee, meaning you don't have to write us a check to hire us. So the only way we get paid is when the case resolves. So a client is never out of pocket, until, and the way it works is the insurance company will write a check to me and my client, which goes in my client trust account. And then everybody gets paid. The doctors get paid, the client gets paid, the lawyer gets paid. It's kind of painless for the client. They don't see this big giant check that now they have to pay out of. They just get a big check. Well, hopefully a big check.
Hopefully, yeah. If they hire you, then they definitely will.
Damn right, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for tuning into Your Case, Your Justice, Personal Injury with Empathy with Lowell Steiger. To connect with Lowell, head to steigerlaw.com, and please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Lowell, always great to see you. Thanks so much for your time.
All right, Kevin, take it easy.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.